everybody. It's Carol Marrock at carolmarrock.com. Welcome to Solo and Smart, my YouTube channel. And today I have a special guest, Justin Boogaard with GoGoGrandparent. And I'm so happy that he is joining us today because I've known GoGoGrandparent or about it for 6 years. And I have never met Justin. So I'm really happy that we're meeting face to face for the first time. But Justin found himself living with his grandmother, Betty, who housed him for 3 years after graduating from UCLA. And always a supporter of Justin's entrepreneurial spirit, she encouraged him to pursue the idea of GoGoGrandparent. And I too think it's a fabulous idea. Which she continues, Betty continues to use to this day, along with hundreds of other customers. Though they both agree he'll never be able to repay her, she receives a fresh bouquet of flowers every month, all the same. I think that's precious. And I wish you were my grandson.
Thanks so much. Yeah, thanks for sharing thank you for sharing that.
So Justin, tell me, how did you start GoGoGrandparent? Well, first of all, tell me what it is exactly.
Yeah.
And why you started it.
Sure. So GoGo helps our clients, which are mainly solo or duo adults living alone, or trying to live independently in their home, live longer in those conditions. We're focusing on providing support for people's mobility, and now their meal management, grocery management, medication management, and more. We partner with different services that have national infrastructures like Uber or Lyft to fulfill those management components. And so we're able to access, established companies that have low, affordable prices to support people living in their home and meet them where their needs are. And I can talk more about that in a sec.
Okay. And so how did you get started?
Well, we started with helping clients manage Uber and Lyft without needing a smartphone. It was a number that they could call.
But
Yeah.
Didn't your grandmother, didn't she help? Didn't she come up or help you with this new idea somehow?
Oh, absolutely. And so the way that we got into that was because while I was living with her, I didn't have a car, and I was using Uber almost exclusively. And she needed to get to my cousin's a ballet dancer and was performing in the Nutcracker. And so it was the first time that she had gone to see them perform. And it was in a place that she wasn't super comfortable going to. It was kind of far, and it was at night. And so she was asking me, is there a way that she could use Uber to get there? And actually the week before, I had tried helping one of her best friends, get Uber downloaded on her smartphone. And we were just really struggling across that digital divide. And we threw out the idea of an app-based solution and instead made GoGo, which was just a way for my grandma and her friends to call a phone number and request an Uber ride without having to deal with any smartphones or apps or anything like that. And then, it was just meant to be used by grandma, but she gave the number to some of her friends who gave it to some of their friends. And pretty soon so we're serving hundreds of thousands of people around the United States.
Well, I think that's a great story. Oh my God, it just brings a great smile to my face. I love that story.
It's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, grandma really gets credit for the idea. She was the one that kind of suggested that we make this thing for her.
Well, that's what I thought, because when I visited your website, maybe a couple of weeks ago, when we first started talking, I think, I saw her picture. Isn't her picture there?
Yeah, that photo of her is actually the very first time that GoGo was ever being used. It's her first time taking a trip, and she was testing it out, coming back from one of her favorite diners, Coco's Diner in Torrance.
Oh, that's great. I just love that. Because there's another app that was started by another older woman who called an app developer and said, we need this. You've got to
Yeah,
develop it for us. So I love when apps or platforms or what have you get started by, with the idea of someone in need. So I think that's great.
great ideas can come at all ages, and we've seen, really GoGo has been a family affair. Most of the key features today were either directly asked for, like in the case of my grandma, or inspired by the needs of, the whole family. My mom is the reason why GoGoGrandparent has the family and friend notifications, so that when grandma is getting dropped off somewhere, my mom knows, if there's a problem, she can get involved. She gets a text on her phone. And so these like huge, what feels like foundational parts of the service today came from people that had no experience in technology. But really, like, that's perfect because we're trying to build solutions for everyone, not just people that are like really great with apps or smartphones.
Right. Well, tell me about that it's called the Friends and Family. What is that again?
Yeah, we just internally refer to as friends and family notifications. But anyone that signs up and becomes a client of GoGo can, and I'm thinking about the solo audience that you're serving, so they can sign up like a neighbor, or maybe a community leader who they trust. And that person will be able to call and make modifications to their account on their behalf. And so, as well as contacting drivers, if there's any problems that might come up in a trip, that's also the person that we would contact if there's a problem that comes up on an account. And so for the recipient, they're getting a text message with more information about the pickup and the drop off and the driver's phone number. And then they also have certain permissions that they can take and act on in an account to whatever degree the primary account holder is comfortable with.
Right. Well, I think that's a great safeguard.
Absolutely. Yeah, that
Yeah.
is one of the flagstone features of a pillar of GoGo, which is making these services, which anyone can sign up for, much more reliable.
Right.
We've seen, just talking about Uber and Lyft, that there's a cohort of drivers that aren't really comfortable working with ambulatory equipment or people that might have mobility impairments. And GoGo does a ton of work there to improve the service. We save drivers' preferences. We match people with drivers that are comfortable with with whatever their needs might be, and that's dramatically improved the experience. And so people really rely on GoGo today to kind of continue curating these services to their needs, making them something that they can rely on so that they can keep living in their home.
So would that address someone with a specific physical disability that might need a van, for example?
When you sign up for GoGo, you can share with us what your needs might be, and we have a couple sort of just out the gate. But you might use ambulatory equipment like a cane, a walker, or a wheelchair. You might be living with a visual impairment. You might have a service animal, and so you can kind of check these boxes off as you're registering with GoGo, and that will tell us what we need to be screening for when we're looking for mobility solutions for you. You also might need a car that's maybe smaller, lower to the ground, or in some cases larger if you have a slip disc and you need to keep your legs extended the whole time. So we're able to filter those out automatically. For people that are living with dietary restrictions or preferences, if you're placing an order through GoGo for a meal that we might offer, we're going to call the restaurant that's preparing that order and confirm with the chef that they're not adding salt in the instance where someone might need a low salt diet. And so we're able to kind of take people's preferences and enforce reliability from the vendors that are providing these solutions.
Yeah, it sounds like GoGo is really more of a friend or family watching over
We
the
try to
person.
be.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And because we're able to do that through a phone, it doesn't carry the same burden of expense as maybe hiring a personal assistant to be managing these things. And you don't have to worry about, well, what happens if something gets missed, or what happens if there's a problem with the meal that gets delivered. we're very proactive, reaching out to you and making sure that there's always another solution that we have available for you as the services that you're requesting get processed and delivered.
So it sounds like you're more than transportation. It sounds more like a concierge service.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it. Today, we primarily focus on mobility solutions, meal management, grocery management, medication management, and we're just now beginning to help some of our clients with home improvement or just home maintenance. Um, and we're looking forward to seeing kind of what the future brings. Today, our clients are reporting that because of GoGo, they've been able to live in some cases up to 2 years longer independently in their home than what they otherwise feel like they might have been able to do. And we want to push that up as much as we can. And so today, we actually moved into home management because we asked our clients, what more do you need? How can we help? And there was a ton of people that were concerned about simple things like how they're going to get their gutters cleaned. And so that's what led us to start thinking about how we can improve, how we can help people keep up with their homes so that they don't have to let something like gutters be the reason that they decide that they have to leave.
Yeah, it sounds like you could partner with landscaping, with
That's right.
handyman, with with housekeepers, with
That's right.
meal planners. Yeah, and make it probably more cost effective for
Definitely.
for the someone like me. I
Yeah,
love it.
we're a fraction of the price of working with a caregiving agency or even a like a care manager. Sometimes people don't have family nearby, and as much as we try to be that, we unfortunately we can't be free, but we're able to be that fill-in and help people manage all sorts of their life activities.
Yeah, I'm looking at your website. So if I'm looking over here, it's because I'm looking at your website, and
No
I
problem.
see you have. Uh, so who do you partner with in terms of grocery and meal deliveries?
Well, so with like groceries, for example, there's actually a number of different vendors that we use to process those requests, depending on where you live. It might be
Okay,
Instacart. It
okay,
might be it might be oh, it's escaping me right now. We also there's another one we work directly with a lot of actually grocery chains, so they might have their own kind of delivery solution, and then we'll plug into that, and we're able to kind of enforce that certain, you know, a lot of times you might make a request for a grocery delivery and you might be requesting your brand of milk, but what shows up is actually not the brand that you wanted. And it's kind of annoying. And more than annoying, it can actually be like mission critical that you're getting a dairy milk that doesn't have lactate, because that can be a real issue. So GoGo is, again, kind of adding that extra layer of reliability and trust. If you're using us to get your grocery cart delivered, it's going to be exactly the items that you requested every time. There's not going to be kind of mistakes or mishaps where the wrong thing was delivered. We understand that it can be really critical to someone being able to live in their home that the right quantity of the right brand of the right milk shows up. And so, we take that very seriously.
okay. So tell me about your wellness checks.
Yeah. So for people that subscribe to what we call the value plan here at GoGo, and there's also a few other plans that include that, we're checking in and checking in on what your levels of groceries might be. If there's anything new that you want to try, we'll bring. Depending on where you live, there can be weekly or monthly specials, discounted meal programs that we've been able to secure through different partnerships with restaurants in your area, and we'll ask to see if there's anything that you want us to schedule. It's also an opportunity just to connect with our team, learn more about your preferences, learn more about how your day's going, and proactively sort of start to address things that might be coming up on the horizon. Because it's always better and more affordable to be proactive when it comes to addressing needs rather than maybe waiting a little bit too late. And so we like to kind of just, it's a great opportunity for us to chat, catch up, and then maybe get ahead of problems before they become real big problems.
So how often do you make a call to that individual, to a member?
It's whatever that client's preferences would
Okay.
be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, because people like me who are aging alone, we have no one to check in on us unless we have built our own support team, you know, of friends and
Absolutely.
neighbors.
Yeah, absolutely. So we kind of ask the client kind of whatever their preferences are, and then we can check in at that pace. We have some folks that will call daily, just to see, you know, how they're doing and what their needs might be.
Okay. So how do you tell people where to go to learn more about GoGo?
So the best way is just to give us a call. The whole service operates over the phone. It's the easiest thing. Our number is 855-464-6872. I'll say that again. If you want to spell it out, it's 855 GoGo USA, which is 855-464-6872. People can also sign up online or learn more about our services online. Our URL that you would type into a computer is GoGoGrandparent.com. That's GoGo Grandparent singular.com. And then you can also follow us on social media. If you're into that, our handle is @GoGoGrandparent across Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and more.
Great, great. Well, thank you, Justin. I'm so glad that we had a chance to talk. I knew that you were expanding your services, you know, beyond transportation or
That's right.
beyond shared driving or
Yeah.
ride sharing, I should say. And so I love some of the added features. Those are so needed. The meal planning, the grocery shopping, even hopefully helping someone at home, you know, taking care of their landscaping and handiwork and et cetera, et cetera. That's great. That's
Absolutely.
very good. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the
Any,
opportunity.
yeah, and any last word for our audience here today?
If you're on the fence about GoGo, the best thing that you might want to consider is asking for a demo of our service. There's two things. So you can go to our website and request a demo there on the front page, and we'll give you a call and you can hear what it sounds like. And then our first month with GoGo is free, and so you can try us at no risk, and take some trips, request some meals, get maybe a grocery cart delivered, and really get to experience what it's like. So I would encourage everyone to try that.
And so what areas of the nation do you serve?
We are available nationally. And
Oh,
so when
good.
you call in, we can give you an idea of what the estimated wait time might be for mobility requests, or maybe the coverage of restaurants that we have partnerships with in your area.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Justin. Thank you for sharing with us GoGoGrandparent.com and letting us know all the new added features. My gosh, you have really grown in the last 6 years. That's fabulous.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Carol, to share the story. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you all, audience, for watching today. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, give it a like or a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and I will see you in the next day or two.